For me?
This is AlanStarWarsFan here, and welcome to another issue of PlayStation Underground, and ho, Merry Christmas! Oh yeah, I think Christmas is over. Well anyway, this is the holiday issue from the year 1997, and I want to show you a cool feature in this one. Now, you just pause in order to turn off on the music? Well, in this one, you can turn on the snow. You can make a light, or just turn on, or make a blizzard, just like that. Alright, so there you go for that one. Now let's hear the briefing of the Spawn's creator, Todd McFarlane.
I think that the reason that people will like or dislike Spawn is because of the attitude of him, and that he hasn't been quite as polished as a lot of mainstream characters that are out there, Superman and Batman and Spider-Man and stuff like that. But because he still has those little kind of cuts on him and those things that can kind of hook you, I think that's the reason for his success. I think it's that mentality of and it's not intentional, but why people like stuff like Rambo First Blood, that my guy isn't, he doesn't push first, but when you do push him, he pushes back with meaning. And so I think Spawn is in that pocket that's, I don't want to say adolescence. Adolescence is being too much of a stereotype, but adolescence in terms of right here. I mean, I'm 35 and I think I'm still a kid. When I look at a lot of video games, I look at them more for, like, if I could play it, would that be cool? And so, again, when I go to video arcades and stuff, I can sit there and go, well, I've never played any of these, but if I was gonna plunk down my 50 cents, this would be the game right here, because it just has, again, either a feel to it, the characters are neat, the action's kind of cool, the sound effects, something there that, to me, this is the best one in the room. There's a million fight games out there on some level. There's a million scrolling games. So how can we kind of take little bits and pieces of these things and not create something completely original? Because it's like, none of us are that good that we can come up with that wholly original idea. But how can we make this thing slightly different? That's really the goal. I'm trying to keep Sony in the mindset, and they've been very good so far, of trying to go, let's just do a little bit of this and this and this. And we hope that the whole becomes better than the parts. What I do see myself doing, and I think people aren't paying attention, is that, especially people within the comic book world, is that when I'm not drawing the pages, and I'm going, how come you're not penciling the book anymore? And it is because I'm creating toys, I'm creating a show, I'm creating a movie, I'm helping to create video games. So I'm not stopping the creative process. Right. I'm just moving it someplace else. So I still always see myself creating. It just might, some of it is in a public arena, and some of it is in a private arena. I still see myself doing a lot of what I'm doing right now, not losing the passion. Right. It just might not be as in your face. At the end of the day, I go play ball. I take the kids for a walk in the park and, say hi to my wife, and I'm pretty bland. It's just that, because I think people have an odd tendency to say, what kind of psycho thinks these things up? But the thing is at least in my example here, and I got to believe most of this is true, I sleep like a baby. I don't remember my dreams, and when I wake up, I feel good and I feel refreshed, and then I go into my office and I create mayhem. Oh, I'm telling you, bud, it's the only thing I haven't conquered in life is baseball. So I'm telling you, if that phone rings right now and it's Marge Schott and she wants me to patrol center field for the Reds, I'm out of here. I dump all this. So, I mean, do I like Spawn? Oh, of course I do. But would I like to play center field in Cincinnati? You betcha. I mean, that was, when I was a kid, that was the first thing that I mean, sports was everything, to get the gospel spread, you have to do these things, and part of getting people to know about your product is you have to like get it out to literally millions of people. You have to use these vehicles, movie being one of them, that are accessible ways to get people to it, and you just go, okay, well, we needed a movie. We needed a video game that maybe sold 3 million units. It's too bad it didn't sell 30 million units, right? You know, because again, every guy doesn't have one. So, well, who doesn't have one? We got to go hit him with something else. I don't really know. You know, again, what can you do with most superpowers? People have asked me, like, if you could have one superpower, what would it be? Well, that's an easy one, world peace. You know, okay, I'm done. You know, and it's like that. You're done in one day. But anything less than that, you know, is kind of like, well, what are you gonna do with it? I think if I had superpowers, I don't know that I'd save anybody from bank robbers. I'd probably just make sure that I took care of all the little personal things in my life. You know, so. That guy's had my lawnmower for 3 months. I'm gonna kick his friggin' garage in. I'm gonna get my lawnmower and piss on him if he wants it. You know, it's mine. So and that makes sense to him. So he functions on the small level, given that he's a pawn in a chess game called Armageddon between heaven and hell. So here's the big thing. But he doesn't get it. It's too much for him. But he gets the little personal stuff. All the other stuff that heaven and hell is kind of throwing down upon him is just noise, and he just wants some peace and quiet. Again, the original goal was to have Spawn become a household name, but the real answer is to have Spawn become a half a household name. And it's the guy upstairs that's got the music blaring that gets it, that's like going, and so that's the half of the house we got to hit. It seems like everything's kind of being shot down to this kind of 5 to 9-year-old mentality. And to me, I don't really want Spawn swimming in that pool. I just think that once kids hit adolescence, all they really give them is really maybe some music and video games, and that seems like to be the only thing we really target at them. And so, why can't there be something out there? Why can't there be the equivalent of an MTV character out there, which is what my guy is, that mom and dad doesn't get it. Dad gets it. I'm going to tell you right now. Dad will get it. Dad just won't endorse it when mom's around, right? So mom won't get it. So she's not going to endorse it. Dad just goes, just keep it away from mom.
That was a good interview, and personally one of my favorite interviews of the whole PlayStation Underground thing. So now it's time to make Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back.
Hi, I'm Jason Rubin from Naughty Dog. We're here today to give you a behind-the-scenes look into the making of Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back.
Crash Bandicoot 2 has a very refined gameplay. We took the response we got from players of Crash 1, and the knowledge we gained in creating the first product, and sharpened the focus of gameplay in the sequel.
Well. If it isn't Crash Bandicoot, welcome.
Instead of a linear map, Crash 2's levels are accessed through a workroom, allowing players to choose which levels he or she would like to attempt next. The levels are larger, with more branches, and they allow greater freedom of movement and camera control. There are far more secret areas, with over 1/3 of the game off the main path.
The art's changed drastically between Crash 1 and Crash 2. Crash 1's engine was thrown out. Crash 2's engine is totally new. It allows us to have more polygons in the background, more frames of animation in Crash, more detailed environments, and the ability to do neat environmental effect things that bring the viewer in, bring the player in, and make them feel like they're in a real environment. It has procedural rain, which is actual 3D raindrops that come through the environment. When the camera looks down, the rain actually moves as if it's in 3D, and you're looking at a down angle with the rain. On a snow level, when you're running into the snow comes at you and makes you feel like you're in the level. We have a specular renderer on our gems, which allow the gems to look like gems as opposed to look like really flat shaded things rotating. We have reflection effects in the ice that make Crash Bandicoot and everything else in the environment reflect in the ice, making it really feel like ice. We've been able to add a whole slew of new things to each and every level based on the fact that instead of saying, okay, let's go make Crash 1.5, use the same engine, make some new levels, we did Crash 2. The character animations improved greatly. We have 15 times as much storage for animation in the game and over 20 times as much animation total in the game, allowing almost every death to have its own unique animation that goes along with it. Not only can you walk, jump, run, but you can also ride on the back of a bear cub. You can run away from a boulder. You can ride on a jet ski. You can ride on a jetpack that's actually free floating in zero gravity. You can do a lot of things you never did before, and you can do a lot of things that you've never seen before in any other game. For example, there are levels where Crash can jump up in the air, spin around, and dive underground, creating a little mound, and he can then move around as this mound, getting by everything that's on the surface, but still attacking them by sticking his arm up and spinning them away.
One of the cool new things in Crash Bandicoot 2 are the lip-synced, like, holographic characters in the warp room.
Game over.
These are particularly cool because they're a combination of tons of people on the team's individual efforts. You got like animators who had to do the facial expressions, the lip syncing with the dialogue, the textures. You had programmers doing like the holographic effect, the lens flare, audio, video spooling, and lip syncing. And it all comes together and brings an artificial character to life in a way that I don't think we've seen before in video games. Another thing I'm really proud of is the way in which we utilize the resource of the CD to bring to the player levels that are probably about 10 times as large as the memory of the PlayStation. We do this by kind of laying the whole level out on disk and bringing it in piece by piece in a transparent manner. This is a really complicated, tricky technology, somewhere between spooling and virtual memory, and it enables us to use the CD to bring more detail, more game objects, just more stuff into the game. Another thing we're proud of is the sheer number of polygons we muscle through the Crash engine. Just a real lot of detail on the screen, and I think that we can pretty much say that no other next generation game has as much background detail as Crash does.
Now let's go to the event center, which there's two events going on in that one. One is Comic-Con, and the other is the PlayStation truck, which I wish I was in that one at that time, but oh well. Anyway, first, let's do a cheat.
As a video game expert, I like Desert Falcon on my Atari 7800 because it's got great graphics, animation, and sound. As a consumer, I like it because it costs under 20 bucks. As a video game expert, I like it.
Yeah, that was scary. Anyway, let's continue with the events. So, enjoy!
Over 40,000 comic book fans recently came together in San Diego, California for this year's Comic-Con International. Since it's the largest comic convention in the United States, every comic book publisher was represented. Because many of the comic characters also star in the hottest video games, the PlayStation folks were on hand to give conventioneers a taste of the upcoming titles. The PlayStation Underground brought the cameras along to show you what goes on inside a comic convention of this magnitude. As you can see, comics were not the only focus of this show. Many of the booths were lined with toys, games, collectibles, and every other comic-related item you can think of. These are just a couple of the comic characters you'll see in upcoming video games. And this is just some of the cool stuff that can be found at every booth. Looks like just about everyone's a subscriber. Ever wonder what some of those props from the movies look like up close? Check these out. Where comic book art leaves off, gameplay begins. Can a comic book such as Spawn be successfully translated into an interactive video game? Fans at the show seem to think so, once they tested the upcoming Spawn game on PlayStation. They also took a liking to the PlayStation Underground CD, grabbing up thousands of copies, as well as other valuable reading material. If you get the chance, we at the PlayStation Underground highly recommend attending Comic-Con International. You never know who you might meet. It has 22 wheels, weighs almost 40 tons, and cost over $1 million to build and operate for a year. Inside, 55 people at a time can preview unreleased PlayStation games in air-conditioned comfort. It's the PlayStation Truck. Soon, it can be coming to a town near you. Right now, it's logging 5,000 miles a month, appearing at sporting events, concerts, fairs, and festivals in a year-long tour. What makes it all work out? Special technology and a unique team of 3 people.
I've been driving the bigger trucks probably 30 years. Well, it's the smoothest ride I've ever had because of the additional axle on the trailer. I got lucky and got 2 good guys to work with. We got a good thing going, the 3 of us here.
I'm 25 years old. I like what I do, and I wouldn't trade it for any other job right now.
I'm 26 years old, going on 14. I'm a tour manager, and we basically run the truck.
Setup at the start was taking about, I'd say, 6 to 7 hours with approximately about 5 people. Now that we've been on the tour for about 4 months, and we've probably got it down to about 2.5 hours on setup and breakdown. The Sony PlayStation truck can hold 55 people at one time. There's 33 consoles in there that are the top games. There's about 12 to 13 unreleased games.
Our featured game today is Kart World Series. This Kart World Series is not yet on the market.
This truck has just about everything that your living room would have. We have nice recliner leather chairs. We do have a big screen TV, which is an 8-foot video wall that we run championship games on it. It's by far the #1 exhibit at any place we go to. People don't know exactly what we are or who we are, but as soon as they find out, everybody's there. The truck opens up both sides, boom, you get people, 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 people. You gotta almost tear these kids' fingers off the controllers to get them out of there to let some of these other people in line.
Our target demographic is, 15, 16 to 25, but, we get 5 to 50.
I love this truck. This is a pretty cool truck, actually.
Parents come up to, the front of a very long line and say, oh, my child's in there, I just have to get my child, we've got to go. And then coming in the truck and seeing that parent tucked away in a corner somewhere, just going at one of the games.
It's got a lot of PlayStation games in it, for one. A lot of TVs, a lot of hookups. Sound system's great.